On this week's show, Liberty football gets back in the win column and the powerful story of how assistant strength coach Jacob Saulnier is speaking life into others.
Plus, basketball season heats up with a couple big W's, and we'll learn more on head volleyball coach Nolan Albrecht's faith journey. This is Flame Central.
If you like winning, then you're going to love this week's show. Welcome on into Flame Central. She's Emily. I'm Matt. And from the gridiron to the court, this was a good week for the Flames.
It sure was. We'll get you caught up on that, as well as share an incredible story of faith and perseverance that you don't want to miss. But first, we start with Liberty football looking to get back into the win column.
Yeah, when Liberty took the field against Middle Tennessee last Saturday, it had been a month since the Flames' last win. Apparently that was long enough. The Liberty rushing attack would be the story in this one, and quarterback Caden Salter was heavily involved. In the first quarter, Salter gets free for his longest run of the season. He takes it 41 yards to the house. He would finish this game with a season-high 94 rush yards. That was second most on the team as Quentin Cooley turned in the type of performance we've grown accustomed to. 136 yards and that score. Liberty led 14-7 in the second quarter. Salter, Cooley, guys you expect to produce. The surprise in this game was Juju Gray. Finally healthy, the NC State transfer made his mark. A 41-yard TD scamper would help Liberty stretch their lead. Liberty led 27-7 at the half. And then Gray popping up again in the second half. A 34-yard touchdown reception. Suddenly the Flames have a new weapon. In all, Liberty ran for a season-high 339 yards as they win in dominant fashion, 37-17. The win makes LU 6-2 on the year and gets them bowl eligible for a sixth straight season.
It's good to win again. You know, the locker room, when you lose, it's not a fun locker room. It was good to come back in that locker room and have a victory. It's an awesome checkpoint to get a bowl eligibility. It's hard to win, and you don't want to be the team or the coach that breaks the 6-year streak. So that was good to get that. What I'm encouraged by is we played really well, but we can do things better, and I'm hoping this team stays hungry to do things better.
The definition of a coach is a person who instructs or trains a performer or team. That title carries so much more weight for Liberty football assistant strength and conditioning coach Jacob Saulnier. His job may be to motivate his players in the weight room, but it's his incredibly powerful testimony that has inspired so many around him. Please be aware this story does contain some intense photos.
So they sit me in the office, and I just remember the doctor had this sheet of paper, and he handed it to me, and I'm just like looking at it. There's a bunch of giant scientific doctor terms on there. I had no idea. And I just felt like my breath got sucked out of me.
Wow. Jacob was full of energy. His first word was ball.
It sure was.
Wasn't mom, wasn't dad, it was ball.
It was.
I grew up in Canton, Ohio, home of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. My dad was a football coach in Ohio, and I grew up in the locker room with my dad. I used to train with the football players in the summer. You name it, I did it.
I mean, we would sleep in the office together during two-a-days in camp, and he loved that. So the memories are just amazing.
Jacob Saulnier adored football, but his true passion would be found on the baseball diamond.
He would hit 1,000 balls.
It was so crazy.
And the neighborhood knew Jacob was out hitting balls off the tee.
He hit a ting.
And then he practiced so hard with baseball.
But once I got to high school, I realized that baseball is my best shot at getting my college paid for.
Jacob would start his collegiate career at the JUCO level before transferring to Division II Emmanuel University in Franklin Springs, Georgia. All was well on and off the diamond until his junior year.
I had been dealing with this spot that was on my tongue, and really thought nothing of it. It wasn't really bothering me. It was just kind of there. I'm not really thinking worst case scenario. I'm just thinking, give me some medicine, kind of make it go away type of thing. You know, I'm very healthy. I never smoke, no alcohol, don't drink, don't chew, no dipping. So just no idea what really caused this to develop.
7 months after discovering the spot, Jacob would still be in pain.
He ate something and he said, "Oh, my mouth." And I said, "Jacob, please don't tell me that your mouth is still hurting from this summer."
Jacob would see multiple doctors. And just a couple weeks into his senior baseball season, he would receive the devastating news.
He basically tells me that I have cancer, and I remember just like speaking to my parents on the phone, and my dad saying that we're gonna beat this, and we're not gonna let it get the best of you, and you can fight this, and we're gonna beat it. I just remember going out in the parking lot and just sitting in my truck and just bawling my eyes out because I was playing the best baseball I'd ever had. Up until that point, I was leading Division II in batting average at that time. Just in an instant, my season was over, my career was over.
Third base, side of home.
It was just taken away from me before I even knew it. Just the game that I had loved my whole life.
Jake, you're a stud. Well, you know, what are you? The baseball player?
In a frenzy, Jacob's family would hurriedly drive 8 hours to Georgia to obtain more information on the diagnosis.
February 12th, 2019. Jacob asked if I was nervous, and I said yes. He said, "Me too." A few minutes later, the doc called us in. He introduced himself to me as Dr. Angel and began to cry. He said, "I never saw anything like this," and said that there is nothing on the CT scan. And I said, "Thank you, Jesus," and hugged Jacob. I witnessed a miracle today.
Stunned with the turn of events, the Saulnier family would still seek a second opinion, and their excitement would prove to be short-lived.
The doctor proceeded to draw on the whiteboard a tongue and showed us that he would have to take half of his tongue out. And I was so sick to my stomach.
Dr. Deasy's words, sense of urgency was, I don't know how it got there, but I know one thing has to come out ASAP. From that meeting with Dr. Deasy, within 2 weeks, Jacob was on the operating table. I'm sorry.
It was about a 12-hour surgery. They cut me from ear to ear, and they pulled my neck up. And they removed, I think, over 70 lymph nodes. And they removed half of my tongue. They took a spot on my arm, and they made half of a tongue out of my arm. They took an artery and vein from my arm and put that in my neck. And then they removed a giant rectangle off of my thigh and put that on my arm.
I wasn't sure I was ever going to hear his voice again.
Yes.
Even a voice.
Yes. You know, she recorded him the last time, his voice, we heard it for 20-something years.
When I saw him afterwards, I had no idea.
No, we weren't ready for that.
We were not
ready for that. No.
At all.
No. I don't know how you can be as a parent.
Jacob would spend the next 8 days in ICU. He couldn't speak, eat, swallow, or even drink water only communicating through messages written on a whiteboard. But he would have one thing, an unrelenting faith in God.
All I would do was just pray. I would just pray to Jesus every day because it was all I could do. Just pray that he would give me strength.
I was like, Lord, can I just hear my son's voice? Like I used to hear it. And God told me in a still voice, listen to his heart. And I'll tell you, since then, I can hear my son speak. It's a miracle. It really is. Dr. Zizi told us he would have been dead within 6 months to 9 months if he didn't catch it. I'm so glad he did. So that's the miracle that I accept and that we live with. And I'm grateful for that. I really am.
And to no one's surprise, the former athlete would bring a competitive mindset on the long road to recovery.
It was the most courageous thing I've ever seen anyone do. When I saw him walk around the hospital, determined and holding his feeding tube bag and all of his drip things were on him. Yeah. It was amazing, his attitude.
You know, in the weight room, you try and hit a PR, a personal record. Whether it's a personal record, back squat, or power clean. You know, those are records that I chase in here. You know, going through all that, I was like, all right, I want to hit PRs.
After 5 rounds of chemo and 7 weeks of radiation, Jacob Saulnier would ring the bell.
He said, Dad, if me going through this is going to help one person, it's worth it. I'm like, wow. Like that's very impressive for a young man to have that perspective.
And Jacob's impact on others has been undeniable.
How you doing?
All right, you?
I'm good. Always better when I see you.
Today, Jacob remains cancer-free. And he's back where it all started, on the sidelines, working as Liberty Football's assistant strength and conditioning coach.
The full circle moment is being able to share my testimony with my players and show them what I've gone through, and that no matter what you're going through, no matter what you've been through, my dad always says is God has your back, but he also has your future.
I am so thankful of how God orchestrated not my plan, and I had to surrender that to his plan and his will, and that Jacob's thriving. He's not just doing his job, he loves his job.
I see Jacob on the field, and I'm so proud. You know, like, Lord, you did it. You did it. There he is. Couldn't be any happier.
First down.
So these tears right now are tears of joy. That's where he's at. I'm just so grateful, so thankful.
What was meant to harm me and what was meant for evil can be turned to praise Jesus and to tell others about him. You know, life is spoken through the tongue, and I believe that even though I have half of one, I can still speak life.
Well, such an incredible perspective from Jacob with all that he went through. You see, he and his parents, you think about the testimony that they have now coming through the other side of this, but also there was another person we didn't see that was there with him through it all.
Yes, one very important person in Jacob's life that you didn't meet in this feature is his wife, Brittany. She was just his friend at the time of the diagnosis, but became a major part of his life. In our interview with Jacob, he actually broke down explaining how self-conscious he was to call her after everything happened because he was worried that she wouldn't like the way he sounded or looked. But Brittany provided him endless support and unconditional love. Matt, now they are happily married right here on the mountain.
And we are glad that they are here. Well, we stay with football, but now step into the Wayback Machine. With Liberty playing UMass this weekend, it's fitting that we remember one of the great performances in program history that just so happened to come against the Minutemen.
November 2nd, 2019. The day a gunslinging quarterback by the name of Buckshot Calvert
would etch his name in the Liberty record book.
Wide open down the seam. They find the running back, Joshua Mack. Cuts back to his left. Mack all the way to the UMass 5-yard line.
The Flames were on the road facing UMass, and the Minutemen defense was in for a long afternoon.
And Calvert now 6 of 7 through the air. Off the play action. A deep ball, and it's wide open. Pass is caught, and Liberty is inside the UMass 30-yard line.
Buckshot would complete only 20 passes in this game, but would average almost 24 yards per completion.
Gandy Golden runs underneath it. Down the sideline, stays on his feet, and in for the touchdown.
In just the first quarter alone, Buckshot went 11 for 12 and would throw for a whopping 283 yards and 3 scores. The second quarter, well, it would see more of the same.
Again, plenty of time. Down the seam, Stubbs is behind the defense. DJ Stubbs. It's another long touchdown for Buckshot Calvert. 37 yards.
By halftime, Buckshot had already tied his own record for passing yards in a game with 441, a mark he had set 2 years earlier against Baylor. He would then break that record on his first pass of the second half.
Buckshot Calvert hits his man. It's Kevin Shaw. Cuts to the outside and pushed out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
Calvert wouldn't play the rest of the game, but that didn't matter. He would finish the day completing 20 of 27 pass attempts, throwing for 474 yards and 4 touchdowns, setting the Liberty single-game passing yardage record that still stands today.
Gotta love Buckshot. All right, to the court for the Flames' home opener against Carolina University. We knew Coach McKay was going to go deep into the bench in this one, so here's a highlight reel from some of the starters early. Talon Peter got his first start in a Flames uniform, finishing with 12 stylish points. Liberty jumped out to a 19-3 lead, and as expected, never looked back. This game was a great opportunity for freshman Brett Decker Jr. to showcase his skills, and boy, is this kid talented. He finished with a game-high 18 points. Liberty cruises to the 81-45 win, improving to 3-0 on the year. We need to take a timeout, but after the break, we check in with the ladies. From the hardwood to the pitch, we have more highlights coming your way.
Plus, it's time to heat things up. Brett McGibbon in the house to name his top athletes of the week. It's warm, hot, in fuego, and it's coming up next.
Challenges, they're nothing new. At Liberty, we know they make you stronger, force you to learn, adapt, to overcome. When your next challenge comes, be ready. Meet it with a degree that propels you forward. We've helped champions like you succeed for 35 years and counting. And now, over 100,000 students are getting stronger every day. At Liberty University, challenges make champions. Let's overcome together.
So you're looking for a university that has anything you could possibly need.
Anything?
You want a place that has the programs you want to study.
I think I'm going to sign up for the fashion design program.
All right. A place with state-of-the-art facilities.
And who doesn't love big-time sports?
Somewhere you can hike, slide, climb, and most importantly, eat. And all that with a great view? Yeah, I think I know a place.
welcome back to the show. After falling in a hard-fought game to number 11 Duke, Liberty women's basketball had a quick turnaround against Cal Baptist, a team that was picked to finish second this year in the WAC. Now, this was supposed to be a difficult test for the Lady Flames. They just didn't see it that way. Liberty went on a 21-3 run in the first half to establish a big early lead. Asia Boone was key. She continues to shoot it well from deep, finishing with a team-high 16 points. Meanwhile, Bella Smuda contributed with a double-double, 10 points, 12 boards, 4 blocks, as well as LU's defense locked them down. The Lady Flames rolled to a 72-44 win, improving to 2-1 on the year.
Staying with the ladies, but heading over to the pitch for CUSA Women's Soccer Championship. Liberty attempting to win back-to-back conference titles. Let's pick it up in the second half. No score until FIU's Noemi Paki drew a penalty kick, and it's Deborah Bieneme who nails her shot on the right side of the frame. The Lady Flames had multiple opportunities to tie it late. The best chance when Ivy Gardner beats her defender, sends a cross to Hallie Engel, Avery Paulson, anyone, but no goal. And no penalty kick awarded despite the collision. FIU wins the crown as the Lady Flames finish this season with a 15-2-4 overall record.
All right, we welcome Rhett McGibbon to the show now. Time for Warm, Hot, and Fuego top player moment from the past week. Rhett, what kind of theme are we working with this week?
National Guacamole Day.
You know, it's my second favorite holiday.
Is it?
You go Christmas,
yes.
National Guacamole.
I could see that, right in that area.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's talk here. Warm athlete. You know, okay, for a good guac fest, you need some crispy chips, right?
Doubt.
Just like, you know, you get in there, a little salt involved. Crisp, and really his action this week was Juju Gray. Did an excellent job. Love it. Love to see this guy come in here, provide a spark to the LU offense they very much needed. He had that 41-yard rush on the ground. You know, you like to see that sweep coming across. Love that by the Flames. And also 1 reception, got the job done.
Yeah.
Love the fact that he can make a man miss an open space. I think the Flames have missed that a little bit this year from the wide receivers. I think Canyon, big body, gets it, pulls through guys. Simply a little bit similar in that regard, just kind of a pit bull mentality. But Juju Gray, he can get on his toes and dance a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch him the rest of the year. All right, from warm, we go to hot.
All right, your guac needs substance. You don't need soup, right? You want to get in there, you know, at least I don't want that like whipped potato stuff. I want to know that there's real avocado involved.
Right. Thank you, Rhett.
Just like Bella Smuda brings a lot of substance to these Lady Flames. 10 points, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks on the day. And this young lady coming back, just so happy to see her back in the Liberty uniform, to be all honest. You know, she could have gone on, stays here. This is a team that's dangerous. Cal Baptist, they went to the tourney last year, played UCLA in the first round. They got beat, but still, this is a very good team. Liberty waxes them by 28 points. This is a Flames team I have high hopes for. I wanna like predict things, but I'm not gonna get there yet. I'm excited about the Lady Flames. Yeah, a little self-control. We'll see how they fare against Tennessee coming up here in not too distant future. But yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch this group.
All right, from warm now, finally, to hot, and now en fuego.
All right, your guac needs a little bit of kick. I like a little spice involved.
Is good.
Brett Decker Jr. bringing that kick.
Did he ever?
This kid, you done something, Richie McKay. You found a stud in the making. 4-10 from 3 assists. What I love the most is that he just was like, I'm going to the rim, try to stop me. He threw that thing down, and all of a sudden, the Liberty bench is like, what do we have here? This kid is stud in the making. One, I think he can build your program around.
No doubt. He's going to be fun to watch in the future, right?
Yeah.
Great job as always. Let's get some guac, huh? Still to come, the faith story of one Liberty head coach and a Flames Fantasy League update. That's when Flames Central returns.
At Liberty University, we understand life can be unpredictable, and when you need a resilient career, your education should withstand any test. So we've made sure the degree you need is within reach by freezing one of the lowest tuition rates in the nation for 8 years and counting, and giving scholarships, discounts, and credit for work you've already done. Because we're proud of what you do. We've done this for over 30 years, and we know how to help. We're here to help you.
Welcome back to Flames Central. Here at Liberty, coaches across campus are training champions for Christ, which is why we thought it would be important to learn more about a coach's faith journey.
Yeah, and that's why the segment Follow the Leader was born. On this episode, we find out more about Liberty head volleyball coach Nolan Albrecht's walk with the Lord.
You're here for a reason. Yes, it could be to dig volleyballs. Yes, it could be to spike a volleyball really hard. It could be to win a conference championship. That's not your primary reason you're here. Primary reason you're here is because the Lord called you here to do something great. And I may not know what that is yet, but whether I'm sowing or whether I'm reaping, I want the environment to be in a place where all that can be fertile and grow and be amazing. So my faith journey started with my family. We made it a point to always discuss like how we could help other people. My initial task in helping others was with my siblings. I have 6 siblings, so I'm one of 7. So the opportunity to be there for your brothers and your sisters, like Christ was always talking about, was just every single day. I really didn't even take the faith on for myself. It was in college really that I did. And when I was in college, it was honestly my teammates. I had some teammates that didn't talk how everybody else talked in the locker room, didn't listen to the same music, but on the court, they were like the hardest workers. And I'm like, dude, the season's about to end, man. Just like take it easy. And they never quit. They never stopped. That instance ended up being different because it ended up making me realize where I was spending my time and who I was associating with. It wasn't a 180-degree shift. It was a slow process. It was painful. I had to get rid of some things I really liked. But whatever you want to put in front of me today, Lord, like, let me bring your presence there. So if that's practice, that's putting together the best practice that I can. It's going to be a good, fruitful Christian environment where we're building them up. And if I need to get on you in that reprimand way that day, I'm going to do it in a loving way. And you're going to know that I care about you first and your stats and your performance second. That's absolutely paramount, because it doesn't matter how great your all-conference season is. If you don't feel love, it doesn't matter if you move mountains. Like, if you do it without love, it don't matter.
It's great to have Coach Albrecht on the mountain. Okay, we're almost out of time, but of course, we have to update you on the Flames fantasy standings before we go, don't we, Emily?
Of course. Don't call it a comeback, people. You know, once I figured out who was actually on my team, I knew I had a great week at Middle Tennessee. Let's check out those scores and the current standings. Well, I mean, I don't have Quentin Cooley.
That's what you don't have. So he's been carrying Joe all year. But your best week of the season, Emily, big day from Juju Gray.
I'm coming.
Certainly helped your cause. All right, hey, about out of time now, but as always, LibertyFlamesCentral.com for any stories you might have missed.
And football season heating up towards the end of the season, so be sure to check out the Flame Central podcast. For Matt, I'm Emily. We'll see you next week.